Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
So I'm wondering, we have some questions that we like to discuss after the presentation, after this message. We'll be doing a spiritual talk back, and we'd love to hear from you. So if you'd like to put into the comment section your answer, it would be an opportunity for us to kind of know more about how it's been for you. So my first question is just simple. What insight or perception you might have experienced in this meditation? You know, if it's an opportunity for you to experience yourself differently, or to notice something you generally notice in the experience of breathing and breathing out, that kind of experience. So anyway, I'm interested in that. So whatever it was that you felt, whatever perception you got, would be of interest to us. Because you see, Tonglen is a practice, and it is something that you can do spontaneously, even though it seemed like there might have been a lot of steps that I led you through. The truth is, all you need do in the outer world, any place that you are, is to take a moment, just a moment, to decide that you want to relieve some pain, either in yourself or for others. Let's say someone that you know and love is in distress or is in worry, and your heart automatically opens. Use that opportunity, whether you're in their presence or whether they're far away. And just give yourself the opportunity to breathe in, to center yourself, and to draw in whatever that discomfort or that fear or that worry is into your own heart, and transmute it into peace and equanimity and a sense of serenity, that whatever relief you would like to send, and send it back to them. And practice doing that as an exercise. It is, for me, a powerful way for me to use my compassion and my love for others to be able to actively heal whatever they're experiencing, whether they know it or not. That's what prayer is. That's what we do when we pray. This is no different. This is sending this intentional energy over to them. It's a really beautiful way to not be in agreement with the worry, but to be in the solution, into the evolution of really where this is going, because we don't stay worried forever. It is a transitional experience that brings something to the surface to make a change or for us to learn from, so that we can heal and move on. And so this is just the evolution of moving that energy along and adding our own love to it. My own experience of it is the opportunity to be able to use the spaciousness of my own heart to help change the world. I really feel it. I feel like it's the most practical spiritual practice I have ever learned, because it not only changes how I feel, which is what most of my spiritual practice has been focused on, raising my own energy, keeping me in a positive state, helping me to find peace, because that is a goal, and I think is the highest goal, really, of our spiritual practice. But what good does it do me to be in peace if the world is not? And so it is an opportunity for me to transmute the discomfort and the chaos of the world, even through the power of my own heart. It can make you available to the world by using your heart energy every moment you feel moved by pain or compassion. That's your cue. When you feel pain, even your own, even discomfort, even inadequate, even regret, even shame, even guilt. I messed up. I'm worthless. All the self-talk that we do to ourselves. As soon as you wake up and realize that's what you're doing, use it. You're not alone in that. You're a human being. Whatever you're experiencing is being experienced by others. And so it's an opportunity for you to not only breathe into your heart, feel that pain, feel that constriction, that heaviness, that judgment, maybe those razor blades, however it feels to you. Breathe into it and breathe out the remedy, the love. Breathe out the love. Feel that love flowing through you, because as soon as you connect with it, you become the channel for it. And that means you can't possibly share something you don't feel, that isn't being brought through you. It's not from you, it's through you. I find that to be amazing, and I love this practice. Pema Chodron talks about Tonglen this way. She says, Tonglen reverses the usual logic of avoiding suffering and seeking pleasure. In the process, she says, we become liberated from very ancient patterns of selfishness. We begin to feel love for both ourselves and others. We begin to take care of ourselves and others. Tonglen awakens our compassion and introduces us to a far bigger view of reality. The reality is, it isn't just me sitting here. It isn't just you sitting there. It is both of us, all of us, right where we are, creating a network I think of it as holding down a tent peg. You know, if this great big tent of humanity, and I've got a little piece of it, and I'm anchoring something here into truth. And I'm allowing that to flow through me into the greater world. When I'm in my best mind, I'm able to think of it that way, and it's a way for me to use my smallness, my pain in the moment, to transmute pain in the world. That is a powerful work, and it's not something I can do, but it's something that can come through me, come through you, as you intend for it to. The universe pays attention to what our intention is and how it is that we want to serve. The core of the practice of Tonglen is a desire to help, to relieve suffering. First, our own, because that's a way for us to connect, and then include others' suffering in the practice. What we imagine or what we know to be true, it doesn't matter. We know that we are not alone in this pain. However it is that we feel, whatever it is that is up for us, it is shared. It is a human experience because by definition we're human. And therefore we can't have any other kind of experience but a human one. Therefore we are in good company with the human race. And therefore we are perfectly poised to relieve the pain of the human race. Wow. What a purpose, eh? When I was in 4th grade, I had a classmate who fell on the asphalt during a, dodgeball or something we were playing out there. And she slipped and fell, and when she did, she twisted her ankle. And she was really in some pain, and she had her foot twisted. And we had some kind of a class, health, where we were taught some basic first aid in this class, all of us in the classroom. And I, for some reason, took it upon myself to go over to her and diagnose her because her leg was twisted. And I told her, I said, okay, I'm going to slide your shoe off, her loafer off, and her sock, and let's see if you can move your toes, because if you can, it's not broken. And so she didn't want me to touch it. She didn't want me anywhere near her. She didn't want to do what I was asking, but I was trying to help. And right about that time, her father had been called. Her father, by the way, was a doctor, a medical doctor. And he brought his case, and he knelt down. And the last thing he wanted was a fourth grader interfering and telling her what she should do next and how she, and I assured him, I said, oh, it's not broken. She moved her toes. And I'm sure he was like he wanted to, I don't know what he wanted to do. He dismissed me quickly. And I always remembered that because I thought I had been taught so well. I thought I could use I thought I had something to help her with. That's all I really wanted to do. And I thought I had some great information to pass along to reassure him that it wasn't broken, but I didn't realize the limitation of the information that I had. It was, in fact, broken in 2 places, as it turns out. So my handy-dandy first aid experience was a rueful awakening to the limitation of maybe getting a little bit more expertise before I start diagnosing people on the playground. But I tell you that because I think there is built into all of us a desire to be of service, to help, to relieve suffering. The intention I really had was to reassure her father and to help her, and to help her get the care that she needed, knowing that they would be on the way. But I think no matter what we learn along the path of our own limitations in doing that, the intention to serve, to heal, is one that is remaining, I believe, our lifelong purpose. I really think that no one can heal us but us together. There is a power that lives within us, but it is always channeled by our own intentions and by our own desires and by our own love and by our own belief and faith in something greater than ourselves that enables us to really fully embody that wholeness, that love, that possibility, that life. And when we hold it for others, we call that prayer. And what it really is a channeling of that love through our hearts, through the aperture of our hearts. Question number 2 for you. Can you think of a specific time when you tried to heal or care for another person who was hurt? Any kind of hurt, physical or emotional, spiritual, whatever. Can you think of a specific time when you tried to heal or care for a person who was hurt? What did you learn about yourself in remembering that event now? What did you learn about yourself? Maybe you've never thought of it before, but what do you know about yourself now, seeing yourself trying to heal or help or care for another person? For instance, when we see a child who's hurt, we can respond on the spot by taking a deep breath in, drawing in the alarm that they may be feeling, or the pain, or the fear the child has, not knowing what's going to happen. We can feel our heart open to embrace those feelings. And you know what? When a child feels them, they are enormous. They are bigger than their little bodies, because they themselves are not little. Who they are is not contained in a physical body. Who they are is the fullness of their soul. And so who they are in the moment feels like an adult feels, but crammed into the tiny little body. I think that's why children feel such emotions so deeply and so big, because it is so big. It's big to them. And when we as adults revisit those experiences, we can feel the bigness of that emotion, of that loss, of that pain, of that fear, of that guilt or shame, it feels overwhelming. And that's how you know it was as a child that you felt it, because it is enormous to children. And so as you feel that enormity of whatever they may be feeling, using the embrace of your heart, just allow it to channel through you and send back to them care and peace and equanimity, maybe even joy. Because children, they'll find their way back to the joy. Bodhicitta is known as the awakened mind that seeks to relieve the suffering of others. In Buddhism, it is believed to be, it is taught as the purpose of the bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is an enlightened soul that is really ready for nirvana, for not returning to a physical world, not returning to this human experience, but chooses instead to remain and return in human form for the purpose of relieving suffering. In other words, having really mastered a certain level of this capacity for great love, and the intention to relieve suffering is the thing then that infills them, informs them. And bodhicitta is that mind, that purpose that infills them to be able to relieve suffering. And I believe that in a tiny little way, there is a seed of that in each of us, a desire to relieve suffering. Tonglen, the practice of it, connects to our hearts and awareness of pain. It teaches us not to go away from it, but to go against the grain, to actually allow it, to draw it into our hearts rather than to protect our hearts from it. So it teaches us about pain. And you know what? As you practice it, you'll discover you actually don't fear it. You don't try to remove yourself from it. You become aware of it. It's an opportunity. It's a flag. It's, hey, I could have had a V8. I could be changing the world right now. I don't have to shrink away. I don't need to go eat some snacks right now to eat down my guilt or my shame. I could be using it. I could be changing the world. Hafiz said, "How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all of its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we would all remain too frightened." Opening its heart to give. Pain becomes the opportunity, not the disappointment or the failure or the time to blame, but the chance to transform and heal in real time. You now have the skill to do that. You now have a method. Use it any way you want. You don't have to use my words exactly, but that process of knowing that all of the infinite love, infinite joy, infinite peace and healing and wholeness and any other antidote to whatever it is that we're feeling, confidence, strength, power, whatever it is, infinite, is available to us if we just call it up. Pema Chodron says, use what seems like poison as medicine. You know, that's the way shamans do it. And homeopaths use a tincture, teensy little bit of poison, and feed it to the person who's ill and allow it to transform, to heal. Parker Palmer says, wholeness does not mean perfection. It means embracing brokenness as an integral part of life. This is ancient wisdom. It is the way it is done every single time. Tonglen accesses the shunyata, the primordial void, the emptiness at depth within us. Actually, it's the channel into the infinite, what I keep referring to. Use the openness of your heart to channel inward into the cosmos. You don't open to your back through your heart. You open to the infinite. The aperture comes through your heart to the infinite. And to use that to pull through you every blessing, every grace. It's how we can access the energy of transforming pain and rage and sorrow, resentment into healing, love, and joy. It also liberates us from our essential selfishness of wanting to protect ourselves and separate and feel sorry for ourselves, or to try to transmute and utilize this power to change us, and then with that same grace, with that spaciousness, to change the world, to reach out and draw in the thing you would have loved to have escaped from feeling in yourself and feel it for the world, drawing it in, breathing out the antidote, breathing out the relief and the joy and the peace. It is in accessing our own brokenness and engage in healing that we ourselves become vessels of healing power that can heal the world. Adrian Rich says, "My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have to cast my lot with those who age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world." That's you. That's me. That's all of us. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.